Hello everyone and welcome back to another video here on Sam's Crafty Castle. So today I just want to talk about die organization and how I have everything organized in my new craft room. If you saw the video from last week, you saw kind of a sneak peek of this, but this is the more in-depth version of how I store my dies. So basically what I'm doing here is just how I integrate a new die into my collection after I've used it for the first time. Basically, the first thing I do is enter it into my Color My Life app, and I am hoping to do another video on that later. I'm waiting for some updates. I know they're getting ready to roll out, which I think they're supposed to happen this year. So hopefully sometime this year, I'll have a video about that. And then I just label them with the manufacturer and the name of the die set. And then Color My Life sells these little stickers that you can put on there. And I just put it on the label just so I know that it's entered into the app. And if I'm flipping through something and see something doesn't have that label on it, then I know that I need to label it or add it to the app so that I keep track of it. So this is the major project I wanted to work on, which was why I filmed this video, because I really have been putting this project off and went, you know what? People are trying to get their stuff organized in January. This is probably the most organized section of my craft room are my dies. And this was a project I wanted to get done, and I went, you know what? If I film it and turn it into a video, I will for sure get it done. Sort of forcing myself to finally sit down and do it. And obviously with moving and everything, it just now was the perfect time, and it's still a work in progress. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, but it's good, you know, like at least this was the biggest part of it, and at least this part is done. So I had been gathering for a while in a Google Doc. I had made a list of all of my basic shape dies, all my circles, all my ovals, all my rectangles, all that kind of stuff, and what sizes were in the die set. Some places I was able to go to the manufacturer websites and find all the information. Others I had to measure myself and type them into the Google Doc, but I just put them all into sort of like a list in the Google Doc and then printed them off, and now I'm just cutting them into basically their list. So I'm just cutting each die set is printed, typed, I don't know what the right word is, in bold, and basically, yeah, I'm just cutting them into little rectangles. And I will end up sticking those to my die. You'll see what I do with them. Basically, this idea came about because when I was working on Crop and Create homework or Kendra's Card Challenge, like things that have specific measurements that they want me to cut things at, I would always cut them with my paper trimmer. Which sounds fine, right? Because it is. But sometimes I want to get creative and I want to stitch edged or, you know, like whatever. Because I have a bunch of stitching dies and scallop dies and all these fun things. I don't really take enough advantage of them. And I was hoping that if I had all these little cheat sheets inside of my die binders, that maybe it would help me use some of those other dies a little bit more, because I would know what size they are. So when Kendra's Card Challenge tells me I need a 3 and something by 2 and something rectangle, it's really easy for me to go into my binder and look and say, oh look, I have the plain rectangle in this size, but look, I also have fill in the blank stitched scalloped rectangle whatever in this size, and do I maybe want to use that instead? And I've been working on a Kendra's Card Challenge video in between, like filming this video and editing it and recording the voiceover. I've been working on a video for the current Kendra's Card Challenge, and I can say it has helped a lot. I'm skipping the March Crop and Create just because the timing for registration did not work out for me, and the timing of the event did not work out for me. And so I was like, I needed to take a break. We'll be back, I hope. Cross your fingers, we'll be back in October though. Or September. It's in September. But I can say that I think that's going to be really, really helpful when it comes time to do homework for the next Crop and Create event. So now I also, in the middle of this project, well, not in the middle of it, but I knew I needed to do it, was decided to re-sort out and recategorize all my dies. So my basic shape binders, there were 4 of them, were all the shapes mixed together. So there's circles, ovals, squares, rectangles, Surprisingly, I just recently discovered I don't have any heart dies, so I need to remedy that. So actually, if you could drop your favorite heart die sets, like like the nesting kind, in the comments below, I'd really appreciate it because I really need to get one. But so all of my basic shape dies, there's some snowflakes, there's some flowers, there's tags, there's all of that kind of stuff is in there. There's an envelope liner die, my cross stitch panels. There's a couple like random flowers that don't have coordinating die sets or anything with them. And those are some that I still am going to need to tackle again, I think. But at least I've got to start at this point. So basically all I'm doing is I'm just making sure that all the rectangles are kind of together, all the squirrels, all the squares are kind of together, and that the ovals are all together, the circles are all together, all that kind of stuff. Moving labels around, getting everything. Oh, I do have these hearts, but that's not really what I meant. I meant I need I need big hearts. I just have those little tiny hearts from Heffy Doodle, but I need like a big nesting set. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like that's I need to work on that. So leave your suggestions down below because I'm having trouble making a decision. So I want to know what you guys like. So basically, yeah, that's that. That's this process. And then I sorted them all and I put them all in separate binders because right now they're all mixed together. So like you could have a page of circles and a page of squares and a page of rectangles. And not even that. Like you could have had a circles on the top half of the page and a rectangles on the bottom half of the page, or ovals on the top half and a square on the bottom half. You know, it was all mixed together and it was making it really difficult to find anything as well because I never knew. Like, okay, I have A2 plain rectangle dies, like A2 nesting dies. Don't ask me where they were before I did all this because I could not have told you, and I was going to have to pull out all 4 binders and flip through until I found them, which is really embarrassing considering how often I use them. Like, I really should probably have just known what binder they are in, but I didn't. So now all the rectangles are together. So now when I'm looking for an A2 rectangle, I can just go to the rectangles and squares binder, and there it is, and it's all good. So I ended up putting rectangles and squares together, and I put circles and ovals together, and then there's a third binder that is sentiment strips and other basic shapes. So that's where I put all of like the tags, the envelope liner, my cross stitch panel. There's a couple like standalone snowflake dies that I have. There's a couple like a standalone butterfly flowery set that's just dies. There's no coordinating stamp set. Like that all kind of stuff went in there. That may get moved to its own binder eventually because I actually think I have more to add to that has been in other binders, but I'm not that far yet, so I don't know exactly how that's gonna go. The binders and the magnet cards. I knew I was forgetting something. The binders are from Crafter's Companion. They're these clear small binders. I love them. I've been using them for probably a good 6 years now. And this is by far the best die storage that I have found that works for me. You have to play around and try for yourself. What I like to do is not going to work for everyone, and I know a lot of you like to keep them with your die, your stamps in those little storage pocket things. I don't like to do that. I don't even keep my coordinating dies with the stamps. I keep those separate in one of these binders too. I have 3 or 4 coordinating die ones that have all of my coordinating dies in it. I also don't buy that many coordinating dies though because I have my scan and cut. So again, might not work for you if you buy dies to go with every stamp set you have. It might make more sense to keep it with the stamp set. So you do have to figure out what works for you. The magnets are also from Crafter's Companion. I will say the magnets are a bit expensive. You get 3 magnets in a pack. Like I said, they are a bit expensive. They also tend to be expensive to ship because they're heavy. So depending on where you order them from, the shipping adds up too, depending on if they're a place that just has flat rate shipping or if they do charge by weight for shipping. So just be aware of that. But I'm sure most of the magnets you guys get are probably like that because all magnets are a little bit heavy. So just be aware of that too. But I just had to order a bunch because I was out of them, and yeah, it was all I got was magnets, and it was quite expensive. But you just figure it out. And I didn't even order them from Crafter's Companion, so I ordered them from somewhere else. But still, it just comes with the territory. You guys kind of know that, especially if you've bought magnets from other places and things. So I think we're getting ready to wrap it up because this is the last binder. So I just, oh wait, no, this is the last binder, but it's not the last part of the video. The last part of the video is me attaching the die sizes. I don't do die sizes for these basic shape dies. I'm looking at that tag set right now and thinking that may have been a mistake. Like, I maybe should have done it for the tags or for those hearts. But to be honest, I don't reach for those as often as I reach for, the rectangles and stuff. Or I should not say that. I don't reach for specific sizes of them as often as I reach for specific sizes of, like, the rectangles and circles and things like that. I hope that made sense. So I'm just sorting now that I've had my dies sorted into their appropriate binders, I'm just sorting the papers so that the appropriate ones are together and I can just grab a pile. And this is where you can also see, this is how I label the sides of them. So this one just says sentiment strips and other basic shapes. And I just label the side of them. I used to put another CML sticker on the outside, but I don't do that anymore because I used to put, when I was first loading everything into Color My Life, I would grab a binder and load it in and then put a sticker on the outside so I knew that binder was loaded in. All of my dies, for the most part, are now loaded in. Like, I'm all cut up, like, backwards on those, if you will. So I think that I don't have to do that anymore. Like, label the outside of them. I just put the little sticker on there just as a reminder to myself that they're in there. Or if something happens, like CML goes down for a day or something, when I'm trying to work on stuff, I can know if I need to go back to it next time I use it or whatever. And then you can see how I'm using those sheets. And right there you just saw me pull off one. I had tried this strategy with my A2 stitched, not the stitched ones, my A2 nesting dies, just to see if I felt like it would actually work for me, and it did work for me really well. But then with moving everything around, I had to pull those off because I just stuck them to the back of the thing before. So that's it for today. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this video helped you find some tips and tricks for doing your own die storage. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below. And I will see you again soon, and have a crafty day.